What if one day you suddenly forgot everyone you loved? Not just their names, but every memory, every promise, every painful moment that made you who you are. That's exactly what makes episode 74 of ReZero so terrifying. And honestly, this episode feels less like fantasy and more like psychological horror. At first, Subaru seems normal. He's joking around, acting confused, looking at the world with curiosity again, almost exactly like he did back in episode 1. But then you slowly realize something is horribly wrong. He doesn't remember anything. Not Emilia. Not Rem. Not Beatrice. Not even Return by Death. Everything he suffered through, every death, every sacrifice, gone. And that's what makes this episode hurt so much. Because we remember everything. We remember how broken Subaru became. We remember how many times he died trying to save people. We remember how much pain he went through just to become the person he is now. But Subaru himself? He has no idea. It's honestly disturbing watching him smile and joke around, while everyone else looks completely devastated. Especially Beatrice. You can literally feel her pain in this episode. To her, Subaru wasn't just some random person. He was the one person who finally saved her from centuries of loneliness. And now, he looks at her like she's a stranger. That hurts more than any death scene in ReZero. And the title of the episode, Who Are You? Has a much deeper meaning than people think. Because this episode is basically asking, who is Subaru without his memories? His entire personality was built through suffering. Every loop changed him. Every failure matured him. So if all those memories disappear, is he even the same person anymore? Now let's talk about the biggest theory after this episode. A lot of fans believe Subaru's memories were stolen by Gluttony. And honestly, that theory makes a lot of sense. We've already seen what Gluttony can do before. So Subaru suddenly forgetting everything feels way too similar to ignore. But here's the scary part. If Gluttony really did consume Subaru's memories, then somebody might now possess all of Subaru's secrets. And if that information falls into the wrong hands, everything could collapse. But somehow, there's an even crazier theory. Some fans think this entire situation is connected to Flugel, the mysterious sage tied to the Pleiades watchtower. Think about all the weird things surrounding Subaru lately. Shaula instantly calls him Master. The tower reacts strangely to him, and Subaru somehow keeps connecting to mysteries he should know nothing about. It almost feels like the world itself recognizes him. So, what if Subaru losing his memories isn't random? What if the watchtower is slowly turning him into Flugel? That would honestly explain so much. And if that theory turns out to be true, then Subaru's identity crisis is way bigger than memory loss. Because maybe Subaru isn't just connected to Flugel. Maybe he is Flugel, somehow. But there's one theory that might be even darker than all of them. What if Return by Death is finally destroying Subaru's mind? Think about it for a second. A normal human being was never supposed to experience hundreds of deaths, hundreds of timelines, hundreds of emotional breakdowns. Subaru carries memories that technically shouldn't even exist. So maybe his brain is finally starting to break. And honestly, that would fit ReZero perfectly. Because this series was never really about physical pain. The real horror has always been psychological. Watching Subaru slowly lose himself, watching him forget the people he fought so hard to protect, that's terrifying. And the worst part is, this probably isn't even the beginning. Episode 74 feels like the start of another nightmare for Subaru. Normally, even after dying, Subaru keeps one advantage, his experience. But now, that advantage is gone. He's vulnerable again. Confused again, weak again, and in a place as dangerous as the Pleiades watchtower. That's a disaster waiting to happen. This episode honestly proves why ReZero is one of the darkest psychological anime ever made. It's not just about death, it's about identity, memory, trauma, and whether Subaru can still remain himself after losing everything that made him who he is. But what do you think? Did Gluttony steal Subaru's memories? Is Flugel secretly connected to Subaru? Or is Return by Death finally breaking his mind? Because if episode 74 was this painful, episode 75 might completely destroy us.